7 years ago, a 12-year-old Zendaya comes onto the lot here to shoot the pilot of Shake It Up. It has been an eventful 7 years. Nice to see you. Zendaya's doing something fantastic for her birthday. We'll talk about that in a second. We got all these great visuals to go through. KC Undercover's coming back in just a little bit. And you shot one with Raven Simone.
Yes.
And so in a weird way, I think she's had a similar path in that she started really young.
Yeah.
Do you find, I don't know, advice from her?
Yeah, no, of course. I think she was one of the first people when I was like, I think when I first started Shake It Up, I was 12. And she was one of the first people that ever reached out to me and was like, hey, like, I wanted to have a dinner with her and I wanted to kind of ask her questions about stuff because I'd always grown up watching Raven and, like, literally that's where I learned a lot of my comedy from. So I just kind of wanted some advice from her and she was really nice to me then. So, of course, when this opportunity came up, I was like, Raven's the first one that came up.
Well, now, and that's so Raven, of course, she had psychic powers. Does she have them in real life?
I think she's just a regular human being in real life.
You've had the stuff in front of the camera has been great. The music has been great. I know some people, do you feel a more personal attachment to the music?
I mean, yeah, I think it's just, you know, it's you know, when it comes down to music, I think you're more vulnerable in a sense because you're not playing a role, you're not playing someone else, you're yourself, you know, 120% you're yourself, and so you have to deal with it like front on. Any kind of criticism you get with anything else, you know, you're playing someone else, you know, it's not you, but, you know, with music I think it's a lot more personal, and I think that's why it kind of hits home for a lot more people.
Speaking of music, all of a sudden this gal that you may have heard of, Taylor Swift, comes calling and says, oh, I'm doing this video with the most important women in the world. Do you want to be in it?
Honestly, it was like a text message. I didn't really know her before, and she texted me through like connections or whatever. She was like, hey, like, I think you're dope. I want you to be in my video. And I was like, yeah, like, thank you. I appreciate that. Like,
so does this make you a member of the squad?
I guess so.
Wow.
I was literally recruited, like, over a text message. And it was just, I think, you know, again, it was nice to have someone, you know, reach out who doesn't necessarily have to do that, you know.
And tell us how fun that day was when you all got together.
It was a really, really fun set. I think, you know, there was all these really just dope chicks running around, and, like, I just thought, you know, there was a good energy. There was no animosity. It just felt good to be, you know, on that set where there was so much women that were, like, really, like, happy for each other. It was not like, ooh, you got a bigger role than me and you this, that, you know. It was really nice.
Are there other squad benefits? Is there like a secret code?
I mean, not that I'm aware of. I think, you know, she's just been very, very nice.
When you're on the set like that, and like you said, there's a lot of powerful women in that, but do you feel, because it's her set, she's the queen bee of the...
Well, I mean, it's her set, you know what I'm saying? But I think she does a really good job of making everybody feel comfortable. You know, like that, like when I'm on KC, you know what I'm saying? I want any guest star who comes on to feel like they're part of the family, you know? You want them to feel comfortable, and that's a big thing, because I think when I was 12 and I was just getting started, like, I dealt with a lot of cold sets or not feeling like welcome, and, you know, that sucks. Like, no one wants to feel like that. So at least I tried my best. She definitely tried her best to make everybody feel very comfortable.
I'll tell you what, one thing that you've done that a lot of people admire very much, and I think it would potentially be uncomfortable. People are mean on the internet. People say things about you, about your folks, about whatever.
Yeah.
But you address it.
Well, I mean, you know, like I said, I always say there's times where silence is golden. You know what I'm saying? Where you could just shut it up and let it happen. But then there are things where, you know, we have a voice and we are allowed to use it, and as long as we use it for positive, I think, change. You know what I mean? And I think for me, I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm not trying to, you know, honestly, I don't know what people are going to react when it happens. I'm just doing it because I feel it's important and I feel the need to say something. Because I don't know, I have little nieces, I have little nephews, and if they're on Twitter one day when they are allowed to get a Twitter account, you know, I want them to be comfortable in themselves and kind of see how to handle internet trolls or problems or things like that, you know what I mean, the right way. Without being ignorant or dumb, and just really think about it, you know what I mean? So
what I think you've done are these very, very articulate responses.
Exactly.
It's really smart.
That's the only way to do it, is to use your noggin.
To celebrate your birthday, you're doing something really special. Talk to us about that.
Well, I'm very excited because I recently went to Africa with UNAIDS, United Nations AIDS Foundation, and I think it was an experience that definitely changed my life for, you know, the better. I think I learned a lot about Africa, you know, because being a young African American, I feel like, you know, a lot of us have a disconnect and we don't know enough about where we're from. So it was, you know, important for me to go there and kind of learn and also see how AIDS affects people, like, head on, you know what I mean? I literally met families that were dealing with it and struggling with it, and one of the families that I met was this, you know, literally a family of young boys who, you know, the oldest is literally not much older than me, and he takes care of his 2 little brothers.
Yeah.
And their parents have passed from AIDS, and just seeing the conditions that they lived in and how they had to manage, I couldn't. It's one of those things, you can't just go home, you can't just go to your hotel, you just don't feel good, you know what I mean? Every day you're thinking about it, and I was just thinking about the little boys.
You can't shake that kind of
You
a
can't
thing,
shake
yeah.
it. It's like, you know, you just think like, I'm in this hotel and like, this kid's probably cold and hungry. Like, that just really, I think, sat with me very, very heavily.
So you're doing something to help them.
So I'm doing something to help them because, again, kind of stuck with me, obviously. And I kind of am trying to better their living situation as much as I can. You know, of course, a lot of poverty in the world, and I wish I could help everyone. But I think starting with this family is really important because they're all young and they all have so much future. So that's what I'm doing.
If you go to crowdwise.com/Zendaya, crowdwise.com/Zendaya, you can make a donation. And you might have a chance to have a video conversation with Zendaya.
Yes.
But you can help out the family no matter what. Crowdwise.com/Zendaya. KC Undercover comes back Sunday nights at 7 on Disney. Happy birthday a couple days late.
So
nice to see you.
Happy
Good for you.
birthday, Zendaya. You're one
You guys are the
amazing
best.
girl, I tell
Thank
you.
you.
Coming up this